Share going. Okay. And make it a little bigger as usual. Okay. All right. So we'll do a quick review of what mindfulness is so we know what we're trying to be mindful of, right? What this is all about. All right. So what is mindfulness? It's fully awake and embodied awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment. Okay. It has to do with focused attention, open awareness, as well as kind intention. So what skills? Again, it's what we need to do when we're practicing mindfulness. All right. If you're in a DBT group, chances are it starts with a mindfulness practice. And hopefully mindfulness is also something that you're starting to practice on your own. There are also a lot of opportunities to find mindfulness practices on the internet and on apps. And so hope you're going to try it using your what skills. Okay. So what skills? Start with observe. Okay, so when we talk about observe in this context, we're talking about observing our experience at the level of pure sensation. Okay, so when we think about our five senses, it's using our seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching to observe our experience. And it's just kind of tuning in and noticing what's going on with our senses. So we could tune in on the inside and on the outside. So observing our surroundings as well as what's going on in our body and our mind and our emotions. Okay. Next one is describe. Okay, so this is not a necessary step, but sometimes we choose to describe what we're observing. Okay, so observing could be silent. It could just be like if you were to notice what it feels like to sit in your chair right now, you could just tune into that without having to put any words to it at all. But if you choose to describe it, you could choose to say things such as pressure or heat or something to that effect, whatever you happen to experience sitting in your chair. All right. And the describe words are objective words. They're not editorialized. They're not subjective. They're not judgmental. They're not, kind of like, well, it feels kind of crappy sitting in this chair. Well, that's not really what we're talking about. We're just talking about what do the senses feel like, right? Or if I notice a feeling, I might just say, I notice that sadness is arising. It's sadness, okay? So I'm not saying, oh God, I hate this feeling. It's terrible. This is so annoying, right? That's more of a judgment. I'm just kind of putting a word, naming and noting. And there's an expression they use sometimes, name it to tame it. That if we could recognize what it is we're experiencing and put a word to it or a phrase to it, sometimes it helps us to calm down and it settles our nervous system a little bit and we're a little bit better able to deal with it. So that's one of the benefits of describe. We could also describe our surroundings, right? So describing things on the inside we're experiencing as well as on the outside. So I could describe the people around me or what I'm seeing in my environment, the non-living things in my environment, nature. If a person is yelling and screaming, I might just say, there's a person yelling and screaming. I may not judge it and say, oh God, who's that jerk who's carrying on like that, right? That's not a describe, that's a judgment. A describe is just saying what the action is or what I'm actually seeing, okay? So hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay. Sometimes it's helpful to, after you like observe and describe, the idea is to imagine that these thoughts and feelings are coming and going, okay? Because none of them are permanent. Your awareness is permanent, but the things you're being aware of are always changing. And it's important to try to let them go and pass naturally without clinging to them, because the clinging leads to more suffering. So here are some images you could use to allow the things you're observing to just pass through your awareness easily. So one is you could imagine taking each thing you observe and just put it on a box and watch it travel down a conveyor belt. So if I have a thought, I just say, oh, a thought, and just put that in a box and watch that thought float away. Or if I feel a feeling, I might say, oh, anger, and just put that on a box and watch that float away, okay? Or if you're more of a nature-y person, you might imagine that each leaf on a stream is a carrier of something that you're observing. Like I say, oh, a person yelling and screaming. I'll just put that on a leaf on a scream and watch that pass away. Okay. An image that is also very popular is clouds in the sky. So your pure awareness is the blue sky, and the clouds are all the different things that you are observing. And just like clouds kind of move and change and pass through, the same kind of thing for the stuff that you're observing. Okay, so the third part of the what skills is participate. So participate is when you take your mindfulness and you put it into action. It's hopefully that you'll put it into your everyday life, so that mindfulness isn't just an activity you do for a couple of minutes in group or once in a while. As you go through your day, you do so with awareness and mindfulness, that whatever you're doing, you could do it mindfully, right? So think about the activities you do from the time you wake up as you go through your day. You could brush your teeth mindfully. You could wash your face mindfully. You could shower mindfully. You could eat mindfully. You could walk mindfully, right? You could engage in conversations mindfully. So whatever you're doing, you could do it with awareness and tuning into your sensory experiences. It sometimes helps to slow it down a little bit, because if we're too much in a rush, it's hard to really observe very carefully. So you could do whatever you're doing on purpose, maybe slightly slower and with awareness. And that will put you in the moment and maybe take you out of your head a little bit and kind of get you back at one with the activity. All right, so those are the three states of, I'm sorry, not the three states of mind. That was like a different video. This is the mindfulness what skills: observe, describe, participate. So hope you give it a try next time you're practicing mindfulness or whatever you want to give it a try. All right, thanks guys. Next time.